Today, we're going to unpack some seriously incredible memory systems, and these are all inspired by students in Japan. And listen, this isn't about magic. It's a real, learnable method that can totally transform how you remember, well, pretty much anything. So let me ask you something. You ever spend hours staring at a textbook? You drill the concept, you feel like, okay, I've got this. But then, a few days later, poof, it's just gone. It's got to be one of the most frustrating parts of learning, right? Well, what if I told you there's a way better way to do this? I mean, this slide just lays it all out. While a lot of us might struggle to lock in just a single formula over a few days, students in Japan are memorizing over 100 complex kanji characters in a single day. So the real question is, how? And that is exactly what we are here to break down. All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to walk through 5 super powerful techniques they use. We'll cover everything from turning words into little pictures to the surprisingly effective strategy of talking to a wall. Let's just dive right in. Okay, first up, the kanji secret. This is all about tapping into the power of visual recall. Think of it as kanji coding. It's a huge shift away from just, repeating words over and over and over again. So here's the secret sauce. Instead of just memorizing a bunch of strokes or how to spell it, Japanese kids are actually taught to see each character as a picture that tells a story. They connect it to something real, something tangible. Just look at this example. The character for tree isn't just some abstract symbol, right? It actually looks like a tree. You can totally see the trunk, the branches, even the roots. Seriously, try adding little doodles like this to your own notes. It makes a massive difference. And this isn't just a clever little trick, okay? This is pure neuroscience. Your brain is literally hardwired to process images at a mind-blowing speed. So by turning information into a picture, you're not just learning it, you're basically hacking your own brain to remember it faster and way more effectively. All right, let's roll into our second technique, and you'll see how this builds on the last one. It is time to add a little bit of drama to your studies. We're talking about emotional mnemonics. So Japanese memory coaches have this super simple philosophy. If it's boring, you're gonna forget it. Simple as that. But emotions, whether they're funny or weird or even kind of angry, they leave a chemical trace in your brain. And that little trace, that becomes a powerful, lasting memory. The goal is to attach an emotion to whatever fact you're trying to learn. This is such a perfect example. The powerhouse of the cell, yawn. It's so dull, so forgettable. But an angry little energy factory yelling at all the other lazy parts of the cell, now that is weird. It's funny, and it creates this emotional hook you just can't shake. You are not going to forget that image. That's the turbo boost your memory's been looking for. Technique number 3 is a real game changer, mostly because it goes against everything most of us were ever taught about how to study. It's called interleaved practice, or as I like to call it, the brain workout. Does this look familiar to anyone? Yeah. Blocking out a huge chunk of time to just grind on one subject. I know it feels productive, but it's actually one of the least effective ways to build deep, long-term memory. Now compare that to this. The Japanese method. They mix it all up, they'll study math, then bam, jump to history, then maybe hop over to physics, and then they'll circle back to math. This forces your brain to do something called active recall. You're actively pulling information from your memory instead of just passively looking at it again. That retrieval process is what actually strengthens the memory. I know it feels harder at first, but wow, the results are so powerful. Okay, our 4th technique might sound a little weird. Just picture this. You see a student standing outside a classroom, passionately explaining something to a brick wall. You might think they're crazy, right? Nope, not at all. They're actually using one of the most effective learning hacks in the world. This is often called the Feynman technique, and it's so simple, it's brilliant. As soon as you learn something, try explaining it out loud in the absolute simplest words you can think of. The second you're forced to teach it, you immediately find all the little gaps in your own understanding. You can't hide behind complicated words. It is the ultimate test of whether you actually know something. And that brings us to our 5th and final secret. This one is all about what you don't put on the page. It's about using the power of visual gaps with something called intentional white space. So, just take a look at this slide. It's a wall of text. It feels chaotic, right? When your notes look like this, your brain has no idea where to focus. Everything is fighting for your attention, and in the end, pretty much nothing sticks. But now, look at this. You can almost feel the difference, can't you? It's like a breath of fresh air. Japanese students will intentionally leave these big gaps, this white space around every major idea. And that breathing room, it's not wasted space. It creates a visual rhythm that helps your brain automatically organize everything and makes it way easier to recall later. So, what you have now isn't just a list of tips. This is a complete toolkit for turning the science of studying into, well, an art form. And you get to be the artist. So let's do a quick-fire recap of your new toolkit. You're going to turn words into pictures with kanji coding. You're going to add some drama with emotional mnemonics. Give your brain a workout by mixing up your subjects. Teach what you learn to really know it. And finally, use that awesome power of white space in your notes. And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. True memory. It's not about brute force. It's not about endless repetition. It's about finding a rhythm. A visual, emotional, and structural flow that works with your brain, not against it. So the only question left is, which rhythm are you going to try first?